Haifa South Africa was established as a subsidiary of Haifa Group during 1998. Now, joining us from Israel, the CEO of the Haifa Group, Motti Levin. Motti, tell us about the origin and history of the Haifa Group.
Thank you, Lisa. I'm happy to be here today with you. The Haifa Group was established back in the 60s. It was a young state, the state of Israel, and the only natural resources we had those days were minerals in the Dead Sea. So it was a governmental initiation to start to add values to those minerals like potassium, like potash, and other type of minerals which are extracted from the Dead Sea. In governmental laboratories, they developed a unique process of which we're using until these days to produce potassium nitrate. Until that time, potassium nitrate was a salt, considered a salt, an ingredient in detergents and fireworks and explosive industries. But what happened in the development back in the 60s in Israel is that we found the agriculture application. Currently, potassium nitrate, until these days, is known as a top quality of fertilizer, the most soluble. And in the process that we are producing, it is clean. There are no sodium, no chloride, all of those elements which are not in favor for crops. In parallel, in those days, another company was established in Israel, not as a governmental initiation. This is a company named Netafim. This is the company which invented the micro-irrigation systems. The combination between Haifa R&D and the fact that there was micro-irrigation created the purest water-soluble fertilizer, which is the potassium nitrate produced by Haifa. The trademark is known as multi-KGG, but that was the beginning of our path back in the 60s, and we developed our product portfolio. It's very diverse these days, and we are playing a major role. The brand of Haifa is sold in more than 100 countries, and it's a premier product as well.
Now, your focus is on the specialty fertilizer segment. Can you elaborate on the markets and crops in which Haifa plays an important role?
Yeah. In general, we started as a company which is applying by fertigation, applying the fertilizers by micro-irrigation systems. So the most natural crops were the high-value crops in greenhouses, orchards, etc. Having said that, by deepening the agronomy know-how during the years, Haifa created a much more diverse portfolio of products, which enable us also to get to the open field crops. In South Africa, for instance, potatoes and tomatoes are very important segments, which we are very heavily involved with. We are applying our products in a different way by what we call controlled release fertilizers, which are capsules embedded near the roots. And they are, it's an active material, the nutrients, which are coated with a polymer, a very thin polymer, which is enabling the root to receive nutrient by diffusion of the active material through that thin skin of polymer. This enables us to control the quantity of the fertilizer, of the nutrients which the crop receives, and that enables the grower to better control, of course, the nutrients, but also it shouldn't forget, it doesn't need to get into the field every few months to fix the level of nutrition. It saves labor, it saves energy, and of course, it's a very precise method.
How do you balance the need for increased food production and fertilizers usage while still managing emissions emanating from fertilization?
This is an excellent question. I must say, in general, I would say the world of fertilizers is top polluters of the environment. For years, for hundreds of years, people are over-fertilizing, over-irrigating, and by this increase the emissions. And a big part of what we see now is environmental crises around the world are driven from this overdosing of fertilizers and water and etc. The beauty with fertigation or applying by those controlled release fertilizers is that we are minimizing the level of active material which is applied. We are minimizing the usage of water. We are minimizing the usage, or we are minimizing the collateral damages, but at the same time, we are increasing the productivity. The yields are improving, the shelf life is improving because we are adding micronutrients, biostimulants, and other elements into our formulas. So it's a typical more for less approach. So while adopting these precision practices, the grower can be assured it is also contributing to the environment.
Historically, inefficient fertilization practices have been used in certain cropping systems, now including over-fertilization, which is not great for the planet, climate change, or environment. What solutions can you offer for improved nutrient use efficiency?
So in general, what we are doing is we are dealing with precise nutrition. The whole concept is to provide exactly what the crop needs wherever it grows. It's like taking care of your children. Capsicum is growing in different conditions in Mexico than it's in Holland or in Israel. The same about potatoes in South Africa and Poland. Different conditions, different needs. We have more than 400 different types of formulas, which were developed by the years to provide those accurate, precise solutions to each of those crops. We also developing farm management technologies, nutrition optimization softwares. We invested in an application which is on a smartphone, enabling by 2 smartphone photos of a leaf to clarify what is the level of nitrogen, and from there to cut conclusions about the different nutrition needs of the crop. What is missing, what is too much. This enables the grower to improve and to be much more accurate. This result with much better control on the environment, on sustainability matters, but also much better control on the cost of the grower, because he doesn't really need to look at the cost per kilo or ton of fertilizer, while you need to measure the entire output divided by the input. If it's positive, he's making money. So this also opened a gate, a very wide gate to much smarter practices, which is also very important. This by definition will improve his profitability.
Motti, how do farmers or end users get access to your products?
The way Haifa is working in general, since we are selling in more than 100 countries, while our main factory is in Israel, we have also factories in France, in Canada, in a few other places we collaborate with other producers. To reach the markets, like the South African market, we established a network of subsidiaries, which are all fully owned by Haifa. Each one of these subsidiaries is a regional hub. Like Haifa Hellas, the Greek subsidiaries in covering the entire Balkan. So the South African subsidiary is obviously covering South Africa, but also the neighboring country in the south of Africa. And this is a regional hub. We have several warehouses in the region. We are not only supplying the product, but we are also providing guidance, agronomy guidance, because the sophisticated solutions, by definition, are more expensive than just to throw urea. And to optimize the usage of this, you must get guidance. So I welcome all the players in your sector, the potato sectors, but in all other segments, to contact our representatives in Cape Town, Haifa, South Africa, headed by Mr. David Fury, and to get all the assistance.
Now, Haifa also offers knowledge sharing tools on their website. What is the latest development there, and how can farmers contact Haifa?
Sure. So knowledge sharing is one of Haifa's most important values. I'm often asked about how come that your website is so full of information, including field trials, the company collaborations with research centers, etc., etc. First, it's my answer. It's a sign of confidence. We are developing our agronomy knowledge since the 60s. Haifa is a hub of knowledge, and we are pioneers in this market. We came with the water-soluble fertilizer. We were the first one globally. So we see as one of our most important value and mission is to diverse this knowledge, to enable everyone, every grower, including competitors, to use this knowledge, because we believe that the future of the agri-sector is to go towards precision agriculture, whether it's nutrition or irrigation or plant protection. Everything must be much more precise and accurate. Otherwise, we will not be able to save this planet, and we will continue to face dramatic crises around the world. As far as recent developments, first of all, in terms of the portfolio, in the recent years, we entered into the biostimulants world. We have a very nice portfolio of biostimulants. These are kind of human vitamins. This is for the crop. It's under the trademark of Haifa Steam, and we have a very nice portfolio of biostimulants and micronutrients. As I mentioned before, we are deep in the technology in the farm management to enable the grower to better manage in an accurate way his needs. And I gave an example of the CropTune, that software application which is mobilized. And by the way, for the growers or potatoes growers, this CropTune application was recently got the permit of the Israeli standard of the Israeli Institute of Standards as a mobilized laboratory. So potato growers can already use the CropTune. This is the name of the application. It can be downloaded from the App Store and get guided by Haifa South Africa team. You can download it and you can start to measure the level of nitrogen and other elements in your activity, mainly for the potato. Potato, by the way, was the first crop which was recognized as a mobilized laboratory by this important institute. So these are some examples of the latest developments. We are also investing now in the midst of a very diverse and impressive in CapEx, capital expenditure, to increase our availability of products. $700 million are invested as we speak in our factory to expand our capacity. Amongst other things, we are building a blue ammonia factory. So in the future, all our products will be based on nitrogen, which is coming from ammonia, which is blue, because the energy will come from renewable sources. So there are many developments in Haifa as far as production, as far as product portfolio. I invite all our friends and partners also in South Africa to join us.
That was Motti Levin, CEO of the Haifa Group, joining us from Israel.